So I'm Professor Sibylle Mittnacht, and I, for most part of my life, have worked in cancer research. I have trained in many different places in the United States, in Germany, but also the UK. And since a considerable time, I lead a research team at the UCL Cancer Institute. The focus of our work has been, since a long time, to understand how cancers develop. And from that understanding, a knowledge arises that these specific cancers have different kind of vulnerabilities that relate to their molecular makeup. And a lot of focus of our work currently in the lab is to use this knowledge of molecular makeup to design better treatments in osteosarcoma. We have a new research project funded that is actually looking at a large cooperative and is seeking to translate a discovery that we made in basic conceptual research into clinical use. The discovery was that a group of osteosarcomas have a hypersensitivity to a drug that is currently used in ovarian cancer and has made a very strong impact on outcome in these patients. And we believe that it actually leads to cure in a very significant number of these patients. And we have found that a group of osteosarcomas should be as sensitive, if not more sensitive, to this drug. And so what we are trying to do in this project is to understand how to identify such patients that will be sensitive in the clinic, and then to identify an opportunity for a clinical trial to use these drugs as they are currently used in ovarian cancer. So this trial would be one of the first where we are actually using genetic molecular features of a tumor to identify patients that would be eligible. And also this would be a trial where we would be looking to use a drug as it is currently used in ovarian cancer up front before the patients actually develop a problem. These new treatments that are now entering the clinic in adult cancers are called maintenance therapies. They're used in breast, in ovarian cancer, and they're upcoming in other cancer groups. And so they're given to patients that we know will respond very well, but they're there to prevent metastatic recurrence and disease progression. So in order for this project really to come to being, we actually need a number of collaborators. So we need somebody who, or a group of individuals that work in a clinical setting, and we need access to clinical trial data. And a very important component here is that the ICONIC study that looks at patient outcome in correlation and in relation to molecular makeup, and we are hoping to use those data in order to identify a setting that these drugs would be best used in. Osteosarcoma is a rare disease, and as in all rare diseases, collaboration is incredibly important because we need a sufficient number of patients and information that relates to these patients, and also materials such as tissue samples and bloods that we can collect from these patients. And that is only possible if we are collaborating between different centers that treat this disease. And often, like in a rare disease as osteosarcoma, it involves international collaborations. In rare disease as osteosarcoma, it is very important that we have access to patient materials such as tissue samples, bloods, and patient records. And as a researcher, I am incredibly grateful for patients agreeing for us to collect these materials and to collect the data that are related to these materials. It is a very important component of our research to be able to relate back our findings that we do with preclinical models to data that we are deriving from these patient-near tissues, and to also use these patient-near tissues to generate better preclinical models that we can test treatments in the laboratory. So we're very grateful, and we know that there may be sort of some hesitation to part and not know what the information is actually used for. But without that information, we wouldn't be able to make the progress that we are hoping for in our research. So thank you for donating your tissues and information to research. The key message really is that whenever I have met people that support bone cancer researchers, I've been incredibly impressed by the dedication, the drivenness, and the inventive spirits that supporters have to raise awareness in that cancer and to actually collect funds that can be used for further research. As far as our side is concerned, unless we have funds to do research, nothing will change in that disease. So it's an incredibly essential activity, and without the supporters, we wouldn't get the change. And if we do get change eventually, it is because of them and because of their activity. And we are very, very aware how much of their life they give away. And we will, I promise we will return this with a lot of hard work that we will put in with any penny that we do get and are awarded in research funding. So we are very, very grateful, and we're very, very aware that without supporters, we wouldn't be able to do the work that we do.